For this lesson, we're going to start looking at adding and subtracting fractions. And when we add and subtract fractions, both of our fractions have to have the same denominator. And remember that our denominator is our bottom number, and so the top number is considered our numerator, and then the bottom number is considered our denominator. So in any fraction, we have our numerator over our denominator. So let's take a look at our first example. We have 5/9 plus 2/9. And I notice that automatically I have the same denominator. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to add our numerators first. So I'm going to get 7 because 5 plus 2 is 7. And I'm just going to keep the denominator. I don't do anything with my denominator. So if I have 5/9 and I'm adding 2/9 to that, I'm going to get a total of 7/9. For our second example, we see again that we have like denominators. So I'm just going to subtract my numerators. So 9 minus 1 is 8/10. And when I look at that, to simplify that, I need to put it in a simplified term, so 8/10 would simplify to 4/5 because they both can be divided by 2. So 9/10 minus 1/10 equals 8/10, which then equals 4/5. Go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to try these two examples on your own. So for our first example, we see that we have like denominators, and all I need to do is add my numerators together. So 1 plus 3 is 4. So I get 4/6. And when I simplify that, I'm going to get 2/3. So my final answer is 2/3. And then for our second example, we have 3/7 minus 1/7. And since they're both like denominators, I can just go ahead and subtract them. And I'm going to get 2/7. And that can't simplify anymore, so 2/7 is my final answer. For this example, I see that I have 1/2 plus 1/6. And I can already tell that I don't have like denominators. So I need to make like denominators. I need to make them have the same denominators. And if you remember from chapter 4, we practiced making the same denominators. So what is the least common multiple that 2 and 6 have in common? And it's going to be 6. So I'm just going to make this 1/2 have a denominator of 6, so I can multiply by 3. And when I do that, I need to multiply the top and the bottom, so I'm going to multiply my numerator and my denominator. So I get 3/6 plus 1/6. And now that they have the exact same denominators, I can just go ahead and add my numerators. So I'm going to get a 4/6. And when I simplify that, I'm going to get 2/3. So 1/2 plus 1/6 is going to equal 2/3. For this example, I see the same way that I do not have like denominators, so I need to make like denominators, and the least common multiple between my 3 and my 9 is going to be 9. And so to make that 3 and 9, I'm just going to multiply by 3. And when I multiply my denominator, I have to multiply my numerator. So I'm going to get 8/9 minus 6/9. And I'm left with 2/9. And I can't simplify that anymore. So 8/9 minus 2/3 equals 2/9. Go ahead and pause the video and try this one on your own. So 5/6 and 3/8 do not have common denominators, so I need to make common denominators between them. And the least common multiple between those two is 24. You possibly could have just multiplied the 6 and the 8 and used 42 at first. And so when we simplify both of ours at the same time, you're going to see that we're going to get the same answer. So I'm going to use 24. So that means I have to multiply this side by 4. And I'm going to multiply my 8 by 3. So I'm going to get 20 24ths minus 9 24ths. And when I subtract those, I'm going to get 11 24ths. So yours, if you used a different denominator, should have simplified to 11 24ths is your final answer. Go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to try this one on your own. So we need to make them into common denominators. So I'm going to multiply my 4 by 2 because the least common multiple between both of those is 8. So I'm going to get 7/8 plus 6/8. And I get 13/8. And when I simplify this one, I'm actually going to have a mixed number because 8 goes into 13 one time. And then I have 5/8 left over. So I have 1 5/8 is my final answer.